Yo, yo, guys. Hopefully I won't have to wait too long for the queue. Actually, let me check. Is anyone queuing? Nika just started, it looks like. But he's just in a game. Woof. What about Ducky? Okay, Ducky's in a game. It looks like his game might be over somewhat soon. Suppose I'll have to wait and see. Damn, I guess I missed the queue Nika's in now. Huh. That's unfortunate. Sorry, I've been being quiet. I'm just looking at seeing if there's a game ending soon. If there's any point in waiting, but it looks like, yeah, there might be a game ending soon. So I can get in. I gotta rise a bit. I lost a lot lately. Actually, I guess it's not even that much. I lost like maybe 200. Nothing crazy when it comes to SR, I suppose. 200 MMR would be a lot worse in these Mighty 1 terms. Uh, Damn, what do people ban these days? I would ban Nua just because she's annoying as a frontline, but I'll probably end up banning Fenrir. Yeah, it's too annoying to deal with in ranked, I think. It's also annoying in anything else. It's just I feel like Fenrir is just especially annoying in ranked. Can't really communicate on his, like, I guess, targeting as easily. When it just goes on you, you can't just scream for help as easily. Well, I guess it's more like you might not have purification nearby, like your support or your solo. So if you get picked up, you're probably just dead. I'll get some more again. And damn it, I still forgot to buy the Ascension Pass. And to get the Ascension Pass and more again. Gotta make it go just a bit faster. I also need to close my window, because it's getting cold. It's really chill today. It's very, very windy today. Oh yeah, and the cam is off for today. I'm just having a tired day. I can't be asked to have the cam on right now.
We are the Morrigan.
It's funny. The shadow skin is really not that different from my main one.
We are the Morrigan.
Just the same vibe.
We are the Morrigan.
I think her other skins are all really good
We
though.
are the Morrigan.
Every single one of them.
We are the Morrigan.
I think Onyx especially. I actually think. I think it's even better than the Reunion one. Actually, do I need... I might need something else. I feel like not having Sundry is gonna hurt me though. But honestly, I might need Aegis in this game. So Sana Mordred is probably one I'm gonna be against. It's either that or Shell, I think. I'll just do Aegis. Yeah. I'll try this. feel like I heard something. I'll just play it differently instead. My auto got cancelled. I screwed it up. Oh, it's a Sun also. That's gonna make this real tough. Holy shit. That's not a good matchup.
Thanks. Follow me. Your future looks bleak.
How did that miss? Like, my auto just hit him, right? Everyone saw that? How did my auto miss? Some horse shit. Dude, of all the matchups Tomatoes Morgan, this is probably on, like, arguably one of the worst ones right now. This is a terrible matchup. Susano's just too good early. And honestly, where's Mordred? Huh. Maybe that's why Susano is here.
Farewell. Be right back. Your future looks bleak. Your future looks bleak.
Hmm. Now why Loki didn't just go on the Mordred in front of us instead? It's bad ages by me though.
You cannot comprehend us.
Dude, I legitimately thought Mordred was AFK. That's why I was so confused when he showed up. But yeah, I just forgot that you don't see people's levels if it's not for the, if you haven't seen them on the map yet.
We gaze ahead in time.
I can't help, I'm not even level 4 or 5.
Enemy missing. Be careful. Enemies incoming. Fools wander in.
Be careful!
Cancel that. Enemies in bright flame.
There isn't really anything insanely good for me to turn into, I feel like, in this match. Against Susano, man, he's got 2 kills as well. Yikes. Does this work? Does it give me vision? I'm not sure, because you just hit it, but... Damn it. I honestly did not know who to turn into. And the knock-up cancelled my thought process behind it. That's unfortunate. I should have just ulted into Neath. I just realized. My mind is slow today. I'm waking up, boys. Yeah, I honestly didn't realize there was a Neath in the game until I saw the Neath ult. I'll take every blame on that. He should have died. If I turned into Neath, he would have just died there. I could have just ulted him. But let's not talk about that, because I'm very ashamed of that now. That absolutely should have been a kill. I almost just fast-fingered my ult as well. Jesus Christ.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Be careful, right! Enemies incoming!
Beautiful game. Help! Help!
Your future looks bleak. Attack!
Beautiful game.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Pondering.
An ally has been slain.
Your future looks bleak.
Beautiful game.
Cool.
I mean, it's not looking too good on the opposite side either way.
Enemy missing left.
Enemies of the Gold Fury!
Completed.
You cannot comprehend us.
Man, if only there's a Fenrir in this game.
The enemy team has destroyed the Gold Fury.
He's got red buff? Motherfucker. Red buff is just such a Morgan counter, or I guess a stealth counter right now.
Your future looks bleak.
I'll just have to sit back. It's not really a good matchup here.
Have fun.
Yeah, you're gonna bush like a ward. Yeah, that's nice. I wasn't sure if it worked like that. That's good to know.
3 days ahead in time.
Enemy missing left.
Actually, I'm gonna just get one ward here. Because if Mordred ever walks up behind me, I'm also kind of fucked. His 3 is so good against Morrigan. I would need to ult out into something. Still, though, I don't know what to turn into.
Incoming.
Against Susano, I definitely lean towards... Does he have beats? He does have beats. Shit. Well, not gonna do that then, I think. Maybe just Susano as a response.
Has been slain.
Enemy missing left.
Be careful, right! Enemies incoming! Your future looks bleak.
We're a very good late game though, I'll say that. With a like a low-key Neve Morrigan compare, but I mean they also do have, I suppose, with Kukulkan, Jingwei, and everything else.
Your future is bleak.
I gotta try and see if I can actually pick up a kill here though.
Enemy missing left. Enemy missing left. Your future looks bleak.
Gank left lane.
On my way. Enemies behind us.
Still got it. I took a gigantic risk looking for that. Okay, dude. Okay. I didn't even realize that happened. Charge your ult, buddy.
Taking aim.
That sucks. At least we did get him, but I'm sad I didn't get any kills for that, because I'm just gonna fall further behind. Alright, you gotta get him, right, boys? Yeah. Ah, nice one.
Sting of my desire.
Good job. Right. Oops. Yeah, that was actually a decent turn into Susano, I think. I just didn't realize I got Mordred ulted. I didn't honestly even realize he ulted. So that was just really unfortunate. I could have just pre-beatsed, but I did not hear that at all. Normally it's loud as fuck, but never mind, I guess.
Your future looks bleak.
Dude, my H isn't going off, man. My H isn't fucking going off. I pressed that shit so many times, but it keeps getting cancelled by the knockups. Man. Going Morgan for my warm-up game probably is not a good idea. I'm so slow in my reaction time right now. I'm so fucking tired.
Enemy missing middle.
Enemy missing left. Enemy missing left.
What is this? What's happening in right? I mean, fuck it. Let me just try and help out somehow. Get the motor off him or something.
Them guessing.
It's not like I'm fucking pressing my ult in lane anyway right now. For how I'm playing.
Good luck.
Enemy missing left. Have fun.
Yeah, he's there.
The enemy team has destroyed the gold fury.
Honestly, I should just rotate and try and help instead, because I know I can't deal with Susano anyway. It's such a bad fucking matchup for Morgan.
An ally has been slain. Your middle tower is under attack.
I'm slightly sad that this is what I ended up meeting when I decided to go Morgan.
On my way.
I think any melee character generally kind of gets fucked in the early game by Morrigan because of how good her wave clear is. And you kind of just cleave them, but Susano is so mobile that it barely matters.
Gank.
What is he building to? Yeah, he's not even like tanky per se.
Completed. An enemy has been slain. You rock.
Enemy missing left.
Enemy missing middle.
Only fools follow the raven.
I don't know why he feels so tanky though.
Enemy missing left. 3 days ahead in time. Only fools follow the raven. Have fun.
An enemy has been slain.
Be careful.
Enemy missing left. Be careful middle.
Be careful. An ally has been slain.
If I was a little quicker, I could have invaded this blue.
3 days ahead in time. Only fools follow the raven. Your future looks bleak. You cannot comprehend this.
An ally has been slain.
You all play the
I'll miss
game
you,
so
darling.
well.
Enemy missing left.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Your future looks bleak. Your future looks bleak.
I'm just gonna play this kind of passive. Yeah, cheeky more player. I'm playing like shit this game. It's my warm-up game, and I'm dealing with Sano in solo. It could not have been any worse.
Future looks bleak. Be careful, Roy. I'm on it. Only fools follow the
Dude, I tried. What? I tried to turn into Susano, man. I got the Morgan book. Damn it, man. I was fucking trained to Susano. Motherfucker, that would have been good. But once I had it planned out and it turned me into fucking Kukulkan. That's tragic. I was at 4k gold. Dude, what do I even build, man? I guess I'll do Cosmic Horror. My build is a little bit delayed because I wanted to try this item first. And I legitimately think this is good unless I'm dealing with something like Susano. But he's never going to be near the wave because he always just... Yeah. Susano's wave clear is just kind of a bit different than most of the solos right now. He doesn't need to be close to the wave to clear it, even though he's melee. I mean, that being said, I still played it terribly. This man just went over and joined my wave, man.
Hold together!
I'm being so carried right now.
On my way.
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain. Your right tower is under attack. Your right tower. Your right tower is under attack. Destroyed the fire. Your right tower is destroyed.
Decent. Finally, I could turn into Susano. It worked. Hey Benji, good to see you, man. I need to farm a bit. I'm so far behind. It's no secret I'm playing this game like shit. I could have played this way better in the early game.
Gank left lane. Ultimate is ready.
Your left tower
Ultimate is down. Enemy missing.
Attack middle lane.
Your future looks bleak. Only fools follow the rain.
I would gladly go and kill the Kukulkan if I just had my ult.
An enemy has been slain.
Big pickup.
An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
Okay, dude. Dude, I get so carried this game. I did nothing. I actually did nothing. I have not gotten this carried and I don't even know how long. This might have been, in my whole career, the most carried I have ever gotten. I could not have been more useless. It wouldn't have mattered if I was here or not. My team would have won this. And I'm not obviously super, like, entirely Giga true, right? Because there was some good, decent baiting here and there. But, Jesus Christ, man. I mean, I'll take being carried sometimes as well, right? Yeah, I'll take getting carried sometimes. Well, a lot of these are scrims. Yeah, like this loss, for example, right here. You know, a different side of the Morrigan should not have lost this one. You know, sync. Yeah, that's true. It might have been easier for my team. Yeah, if I didn't give them the 4 kills that I gave, then yeah. What I should have done, though, for the most part, is if I couldn't turn into Susano in a direct fight, I should have just turned into Neath and just ulted someone. Because that would have been enough to be useful. But I didn't really do that enough. Yeah, that was the one with you and Sync, yeah, Benji. Sync didn't want to group with me. Well, that was also the Bakus we had, who just kind of refused to ever be around us. Alright, give me a second, guys. Alright. It's very gray and it's been raining today, so it's already kind of dark. I need to turn on some light. But my phone is usually not by my side because its charger is behind me on my table or my drawer. Dude, I'm probably missed the queue, didn't I? Fucking hell, man. I'm looking at their streams. Actually, no, I guess not. Yeah, Ducky's still in queue as well. Maybe both me and Ducky missed the queue. Shit. Alright, there it is. Hmm. I think we just swap here, right, Dutch? I think that makes more sense. Lobby got dodged. Damn it. You can mid. I would rather ADC, I think. But that's just because you're way better in mid. Like I like ADC and mid about the same. Like once Ra and like I don't know Morgan Le Fay and those types of gods are in mid, I think I would prefer mid. But right now all the fun mid gods are not in the game yet, so mid is not my second most enjoyed role right now. I think I like Kukulkan. That's probably the mage that I like the most at the moment. Maybe outside of Morgan, but I don't actually like Morgan in mid. I only really like him solo. It's too many visitors in mid. Which ADC do I go into though? Probably on her? Weren't you dodging? No? Okay. Does nobody play her jungle? I don't think so, but that's also because she struggles heavily against all the junglers right now. She gets shit on by Fenrir, Susano, like I would even argue Amma. So it's hard, it's tougher. I also think her biggest strength is that her wave clear is really good. That helps her out a lot. I don't want to play Jing Wei. I don't. Yeah, I want to do the on her, but I'm gonna look up a build real fast. Who plays on her? Who actually plays this god? Uh, I don't know, Benji. I don't like that build. I wanna do the heavy pen build. Because that's what everyone else is doing in competitive. I want to try that one, but I forgot. Damn it! I forgot if it's only Sapman that does it. And I also need Apollo, to be honest. Bacchus is also enough, to be fair. Otherwise, no one else is going to be able to kill the Bacchus. They nerfed Leather Cowl, right? Like, what do you do instead? I'll do Leather Cowl here, but... Are you supposed to do something else now? Like, people do Death Toll, I think?
Hi.
Alright, well, now I'm playing ADC. I gotta wake the fuck up. No more stupid bullshit. I can't just solo farm the whole game again. I have to be there.
Minions have spawned.
Don't you go XC second these days? I missed. I missed the small one. Dude, that's such an early Loki gank. I guess you start on speed. That's so fucking annoying. Why is it everywhere I go, the jungler visits me early? Motherfuckers. Leave me alone. At least let me get level 2.
Your right tower is under attack. Your right tower is under attack. An ally has been slain. That's too bad.
Enemy missing.
I almost feel like the worst part of Honor right now is he's clear. Because like the impale is so narrow, I feel like creeps are always just so split. It's really weird.
Enemy missing.
It makes him feel so awkward in lane.
I'll attack right lane. Enemy missing. That's too bad.
Are we zoning this? We're not zoning this.
Enemy missing middle.
Middle tower is under attack. Enemy spotted.
I'm not. Dude, I'm level fucking 3, man. How annoying.
On my way. I'll attack.
Oh, okay, dude. It's just not my day, man. It's just not a good day on my end today. I'm positioning myself really stupid, and I feel like, yeah, I don't know.
Enemy
I gotta get out of my slump right now.
Retreat.
I'm fucking level 3.
Retreat. Beware the shifting sands.
That still reached me.
Shifting sands. Retreat. Yes.
some other time.
My dude.
Enemy spotted. Enemy ultimate.
I should just back. I don't know why I'm staying.
Slither.
An enemy has been slain. Nice job. Your right tower is under
Good pillar, at least. Otherwise, I would have been dead there again. That's actually kind of a legendary pillar. Alright, I know how this is. Okay. I know how to fix this. Music is paused. That's the reason why I never play with music. I have a hard time locking in with a bunch of noise in my ears. Hey, Cleano, good to see you, man.
chase the enemy.
A little bit of poke. I don't want to end up getting smacked by Loki here again. Okay, dude. Bad jump. Should have waited. I'm just happy he's not level 5.
On my way.
Almost got the impale off. Alright, you get him, Tome. Run it down. I don't know if she ulted. Yeah, there she didn't. That sucks. She's out.
Your right tower is under attack.
How long the queue's been? They're still pretty rough. The only way to really get into the elite queues at the moment in EU is just snipe one of the bigger streamers going. Like right now I've been sniping Duck here as an example. There's like 2 queues going at the moment. There's like a Nika queue, I believe, and then the Ducky queue right now. Otherwise it's atrociously long.
On my
Especially at this time.
slain.
Some other time.
Your left tower is under
Damn. Do I need them to fix Impale? Impale still feels bad. That's my only problem with on her.
Middle lane.
Your middle tower is under attack. Your left tower is under attack.
Let's see if I can look for something here.
Slain.
Hiding the bushes is so funny though.
Shifting sands.
Alright, just a little bit of poke. He's got 2 levels on me. I don't actually want to fight him right now.
An ally has been slain. No problem. You're killing. Right tower is under attack. Shifting sands.
How did that still hit me?
On my way. Enemies behind us.
Cancel that.
I do have a Neath, but I'm staying with my Aegis. I'm doing the thing. I'm going my own way. I'm doing what I know. I think that's best. I have to. Probably a dagger into crit. Damn it.
Enemies incoming right.
Enjoy yourself.
Beware the shifting sands.
Unfortunate. At least we get one out of it, but goddamn it, man. This is actually really good. Two Lokis here too? Okay, my bad. I didn't expect 5 people here or 4 people here. I'm not gonna lie. Could still be really good for us though. No, man! Fana, you gotta get them! I don't believe that, dude. I can't believe Thana did not get the Loki, man. He was right in front of him.
On my way.
Yes. Your right tower is under attack.
The level difference here is becoming a problem, though.
Beware the shifting sands.
Oh my fucking god, man. I know his red buff. This is not good.
Completed.
I'm just gonna back. I actually don't want to back now that he did that. Now he's poked enough.
An enemy has been slain. Enemy in the gold killing it.
Completed.
The enemy team has destroyed the gold fury.
Some other time.
Beware the shifting sands. Sands. Drink. On my way.
She ulted early. But that doesn't matter, I guess.
An enemy has been slain.
No problem. Nice job.
I mean, we're still getting kills, like, overall. It's not horrible, but, like, this weird thing that's happening in duo is just putting me so far behind. There's so many people, like, I'm essentially getting camped right now with how many people that's constantly here.
Enemy ultimate.
And I feel like every time Thana comes here to try and, you know, pick up what's left of everything, he's not getting any of it. It's a bit tough at the moment. I'm not really blaming Thana, like, specifically, but, like, we gotta get something out of these very, very aggressive plays they're going with, and not always really doing very well. Well, that sucks. Impale actually would have secured my kill there.
Beware the shifting sands. Fury. On my way. Beware the shifting
Enemies incoming
sands.
right. Some of them. Enemies at the fire pit.
Well, I screwed that one up. I got really greedy for that kill. I'm just gonna do this instead. I'm going Ixie. Because I realized otherwise, like, Bacchus is already kind of tanky to me. Somehow. Not having any protection against me. I don't like it. I think I need Ixie. Lost my purple.
That's too bad.
I'm going for jungle buff.
Guess I'm gonna sow in most of the wave.
Seriously.
If I could just hit the Impale, that'd be nice. I'm a little sad, because I absolutely should have gotten point in case. Dude, Thana, fucking, you landed on an Aegis target and you still use your one. What are you doing, man? Stop! Fucking hell. Okay, now I will start blaming you, Thana. What the fuck was that?
Your right tower has been destroyed.
Alright, I'm just gonna sit back. I know I can fight Jingwei for the most part. At this point, it's kind of too late. Like, that's how I get shit on. I can't deal with her anymore
Your right tower is
in a 1v1. Unless I hit Impale. If I hit Impale, then maybe. Sure. But I need to sit back and farm. I'm falling way too far behind.
enemy missing right. Okay.
Enemy spotted. Ultimate is ready.
Nice. I'm getting some stuff at least.
Enemies behind us.
Enemies behind us.
Be careful. Be careful, Ryan. Yes.
Some of it.
Enemy spotted. Attack left lane. Beware the shifting
Dude, Impale is so fucking slow. It's actually kind of starting to piss me off now.
On my way.
That was right on target, but it's because it's not instant. I should not have done that. Well, I should have done that. I should have tried to help him out. That's my point. Good ult.
Enemy ultimate down.
I just don't want to fight. That's literally it. I still think we can probably kill the Jingwei if we get like a gank off on her. But with the amount of times that Thana has went here and just completely fucked it up. I just don't trust it to happen anymore. Even if he tries. I know how it sounds like I'm shitting on the Thana. I'm literally not trying to, but I kind of just feel like I'm stating how it's been going so far. Because there's been so many good opportunities for him to just go and kill Jingwei or anyone else fucking diving me in the early game. Like, I feel like some of those cases I couldn't have played it any better. Like, I got out with a kill in like 3v1 situations. I don't know what else to do about that. And now Jingwei's 17, I'm a 13. I literally can't do anything about it.
Enemy missing right. Be careful middle. Be careful middle. An enemy has been slain. Your left tower is under attack.
Oops.
No problem.
Attack.
An enemy has been slain.
Damn, good job. Must have been a big cuckoo ult, I'm imagining.
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain. Beware the shifting sands. Oh, my fury.
Dude, why? I'm gonna start crying. Why always me, dude? I know I'm easy to kill, but come on, man. I died with Aegis up too, like a fucking idiot. I'm trying so hard to get a kill. I'm just trying to get back into the game in terms of XP.
Completed.
That's my bad again. Man, hopefully I'm more awake tomorrow, otherwise the tournament might be tough. I'm so fucking tired today. It's definitely affecting the way that my brain is trying to react to things. Thana, you really don't need to take my waves. I kinda need it. There's no jungle stuff to take from me either. At least, the good part is, I learned that I do pretty decent damage to Mordred somehow, even though Mordred is kind of tanky to me. Funny how that works out.
Beware the shifting sands. Enemies incoming. Be careful. I'm going for jungle buff.
I'll just sit back.
Fire giant.
Ward the fire giant.
Enemies at the fire giant.
Nice job. Beware the shifting sands.
Dude. Neath all down, like fuck. Of all fucking things, man. I actually won the trade, but the fucking Neath ult. Why did that go out so fast too? Damn, good damage. I'm actually so sad about this game.
Enemies behind.
When I'm actually winning trades, I'm getting Neath ulted.
On my way. On my way. Gank. On my way. Attack. Ultimate is ready.
I have a ward here. Alright, we're looking for this.
Completed.
My poor little level 16 ass, man. I'm the lowest level in the game outside of Bacchus.
Toward the fire. Group up.
I'm on it.
We need war.
Right lane.
Dude, I can't do anything. I'm so far behind, I can't even fucking be at my own tower line.
Is under attack.
I literally can't even farm at my own tower line. Realistically, what I should have done was... Actually, no, because my input was down too. Whatever. Jingwei is still in left too.
Right tower is under attack.
I don't even think Loki ulted either.
Gank.
At this point, I think I need to save my impale at any point. In case Loki goes on me. Don't get me wrong though, I'm gonna miss it anyway, but... Gotta try at least, right?
Your left tower is under attack. Your middle tower is under attack. Your middle tower has been destroyed. Behind us.
Okay.
Beware the shifting sands. An enemy has been slain. Enemies have returned to base.
I mean, that works.
Beware the shifting sands.
Okay, dude. Did we not have... We don't have Sunder, dude. Oh, I will... No, never mind, we did. It's just he missed it.
The pyroman.
Well, that's really not good.
An enemy has been slain. Wonderful.
Yeah, Dutch really kind of carrying this one so far.
An ally has been slain. Enemy ultimate down.
I'm just trying to get farm.
Your left tower is under attack.
I'm still not too unhappy with my build though. Like, I'm still doing decent damage. Kind of.
An enemy has been slain.
I don't know what they're doing though. They're just kind of inting a bit.
Attack the group up. On my way. On my way.
Be careful. Beware the shifting sands.
Yeah, I can't do anything against them right now. But it's okay. If they can focus me, I'll take the. I'll actually take that. You know. Yeah, I mean, good shit. Super good ult. I do literally 0 damage to a tank Mordred with Fire Giant. It's actually just impossible for me to deal with. Do you usually build ADC like this? I do not. I don't usually ADC. The thing is, it went alright, it's just that I was kind of camped in the early game, which made it much harder than it ever needed to be. Oh. He ulted out. Because I actually feel like the build was fine, but I always like I got legitimately 3-man doved like twice in pre 10 minutes. It was not good. That's the reason why I'm so far behind as well.
Yes.
And we should have gotten more for those dives as well. It's just unfortunately we missed a bit
Yes. On my way.
on the follow-up.
Beware the shifting sand.
Nice. Dude, why me? Why always me, dude? Fucking Neath ult and everything on me again. I can't fucking play the game, I'm already so behind. Me and Dutch grouping there was bad though. Loki was just hitting us with both of his his abilities for no reason. That's kind of bad. Dude, what? How is she mirror ult doing that much damage on a fucking tank? 747? That's insane.
Thank the fire giant. So sad.
I think Dagger is a bad buy. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be in the build for the most part right now. I was recommended a better build by a friend. I just decided to go my own way.
Enemies at the fire giant.
I will say that in my defense, it did work. I was winning trades with the Jingwei, and I was very close to killing Jingwei. It's just that Impale still feels like shit, and I still missed it.
An ally has been slain.
Damn. This game is just about Fire Giant steals. They stole ours, we stole theirs. Give me this gigantic shield. That's unfortunate. That is really, really unfortunate.
Sorry.
I will be right back.
Just buy everything here. At least I should be able to do enough damage now, especially with Fire Giant helping out as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll try. If I get ADC again, I'll try the other build. I don't know. I think I'm addicted to Dagger as well. I just really like the item, but I guess it might be bad.
Beware the shifting sand.
Careful with this. Help middle lane. Help middle lane. Ultimate ready.
Feel my strength.
Behind us.
No problem. Attack middle lane.
Dude, I can't move. I'm literally just getting fully chain CC'd. I even aegis the Neath ult this time. I honestly could not have done any more than that. I even tried to jump away earlier in the Bacchus Belch, but because of the Loki ulting me with a cripple, I also couldn't do that. This is one of those games that is the perfect representation of why double relics feel needed in Smite. I literally can't do anything, man. And it doesn't feel good. Only thing I could have done, I will admit this, only thing I could have done was pre-ult. But just for the CC immune, I definitely can't do that. Like, my team is playing super well. Like, if the fact that they're ulting me, though, instead of Kukulkan is weird. Because I'm not... Dude, I've done, like, what, 5k fucking damage this game? I've been so fucking useless. At this point, I should build protection. Is there a reason why Dagger is bad now? I'm actually curious. Because suddenly, like, it went from being good to just bad, I guess. Did I nerf it in a way I didn't know?
The Pyroman has arrived. Yes.
Attack fire.
Beware the shifting sand.
Oh my god, I'm giving the vision here.
Okay.
At least I got one crit on him. Dude, get it off my ass! Why are you ignoring Kukulkan? I'm not the problem! I'm not the problem, man! Stop going for me! Let me play the game! I'm not even tilted, I'm just surprised. Or like confused. I don't understand. I got like 5 autos off on enemies this game. I'm collecting carries today. But like, what the fuck? I feel like this game was less on me being bad than like just getting fucking focused for no reason. Why was Loki always on me? Why did I always get Neath ulted? Someone else did get Neath ulted in this fight though. I didn't get Neath ulted. I just got Mordred rooted and Loki ulted. Jesus Christ, man. It doesn't look good on my score. I'll take it though. I think that was fully on dodge and the Fire Giant Steel. I think Warchu played super well in the Ymir as well. It just was anyone on but it was on anyone but me, pretty much. Yeah, I hope you had fun, Dutch, in this game, because holy fuck, I didn't. I got so camped, and then I got Neath ulted and Loki ulted every fight. What the fuck is up with this? Why are they going for me when you're the problem? I don't understand. Why would they ever go on me when you're still alive? Leave me alone. I want to play the game. I just want to press left click. Let me press left click. I actually can't believe how much they blew on me in every fight. I was not the problem, man. I really wasn't. Could you make the argument I would have been if I was alive? Maybe. But I don't know, because I was never fucking alive. Yeah, you played super well. You had some amazing ults that game. Like, I'll take the win, but it was definitely an unsatisfying win for me, because I felt like I was just useless for the most part. At least I got one good big crit on Loki in that last team fight, and you were just able to like one him after it. So we just kind of one shot him, but I just died anyway. That was crazy. I don't know why I was so focused in that game. Kuku's pretty good. I think he can be. Yeah, I think Kuku he has the potential to be really good, but I think he's once again he's on the same level as someone like Ra, where he can be completely useless if you miss everything still. Like I don't think he's just always super good. I think that's probably the main reason. Like he's got narrow hitting abilities only, and then the tornado isn't really narrow, but like it's unreliable. I would say still if you don't have any setup for it. But I think it's great if he has any setup. Like with like a Ymir, like Warchi did so well as well setting up for you. If you have any kind of CC, I think Kukulkan is really good. Just gotta time it well. Hmm. What do I want to play? They do have Fenrir now. Maybe I just try hard for one game for once. Maybe that's what I do. Pick up an Odin. Yeah, I'll just do that. I'll grab a tryharding Odin for once. Uh-oh. Connecting. That's unfortunate. Not sure who disconnected. I mean, it did bring me up by like 100 with those two wins. Just gotta keep her going. Gotta keep her going. I need at least one good game today. That's my goal. I just need one good game today where I am useful and I'm doing something good. Oh boy. If everyone's still a queue, they're gonna be so stacked on the other team. Last pick solo though, I do not mind. It's kind of the dream. But man, I really need more guardians in solo. I'm so tired of the two that are actually at decent in solo. I mean, Bacchus is obviously really good, but I'm so tired of playing Bacchus. And like Ymir was too good for too long. Just so tired of him as well. And I don't think he's that good in solo anymore. He's fine, but just fine. I need Sobek. That's what I need. Surprising lag of Numa in these games so far. Until this one, that is. Hecate. Dude. Again? We're dodging again? Alright. Guess we're dodging again. Damn, I like our comp though. I wanted to play... I actually kind of wanted to play Chuck in this one. We go again. Yeah, lead rank in 1 minute queue. It's because we're in like it's the same few people queuing. Like right now, I might have just missed it, you know? Maybe the other 11 or like, the other 11 people queuing may have gotten into the game or like 10 people, but maybe I missed it. Dude, that's a lot of bots today I keep having to deny. Let me check if Ducky is still... No, Ducky's not playing anymore. Okay, so Ducky is out. What about Nika? Nika is still going, but he's in a game. So either I missed the queue that is unstreamed, or we just don't have enough people anymore after 2 people just dodged. I'll just have to sit and wait. I'll stay in the queue. I feel like I want to mainly slam the elite queue today. Hopefully I won't have to wait too long though, because I won't be streaming that long today. Oh, well, I've been going for an hour and a half now. I'll probably only be going for like an hour more. Somewhat busy today. Alright, there we go. 2 minutes, not too shabby. Getting tired of normal ranked, yeah, it's a coin flip. Sometimes you get good games, other times you definitely do not get good games. It's a car alarm going off outside. Or a siren, I guess it's called. Right. What do I want to play? What have I played in solo today? I've only gotten solo once and I went Morrigan and it went terrible because I went against Susano. It was not fun. I gotta pick something where I think I can win early. That also isn't super unfun to play. I'm not feeling Bacchus for sure. I've been playing Bacchus a pretty decent amount recently. I haven't played that much Odin in the last few days, so I might grab the Odin. I think Arma is kind of boring, but I wouldn't mind playing some Arma as well. And I have definitely been slacking on Chuck. I think Chuck's alright. But I think Chuck is also just kind of... He's a bit weird late game, I think. And I don't know what to build on him right now. I can't decide. Outside of the first few items, obviously, because the first few items are pretty straightforward. Hmm. I mean, Bacchus Jingwei is not a good start for the Odin, you know? But at the same time, I'm not giving them Bacchus and Odin, so I'll just grab it. I'll grab it. I'll do it. Now that I've locked it in, though, I really don't want to play it. They have such an anti-melee comp, man. I hate it. Noah, insanely good self-defense. Jingwei just always gets away. Ama always gets away. Bacchus has so much CC. They definitely have a tough comp to deal with. If we can't lock some of them down. What the f... What? What do you mean someone dodged? What do you... Come on, man. The worst part is I can't even blame the people right now because it could easily just be Smite 2 fucking with them. But, guys, stay in the game, man. Had you Nuwa, I guess you're ready. Dude, Nuwa is more filthy than Odin, alright? Actually, right now it's probably not, but... yeah. I haven't played him in a while. I gotta do some more Odin, you know? Gotta get in there. Wait, I hit rank 5 on Morrigan? Wait, I've played her that much? Alright, I guess I'm rank 5 on Morrigan. Yeah, no, the new one minions are actual raid bosses. It's insane how tanky they are. They have way too much health, dude. I'm pretty sure. Like, it's fun to meme about, but dude, those things have more health than Gold Fury. I swear to God. Motherfuckers are tanky. We gotta be against Herox, right? Just gotta be Herox. Yeah, the suspend is good, yeah. I support it. He's so annoying to do with in ranked more than anything. What the fuck is this? Need Sol? We have the chance to pick some really good shit here. Bacchus is good. I like it. Kind of means we're forcing them to pick something tanky in jungle now, though. Yeah, motor angle is kind of sick. I agree with you. No. All right. Well, it could be jungle or solo on their end. Hmm. Yeah. Uh. Yeah. It's a Bellona angle. You're gonna run the double ADC again? I'm gonna do this angle. Out of him 10, I got no no god at 10. I mean, I just played him a lot in casuals and stuff, just for fun, because I just enjoyed playing him. Yeah, Benji, you play so much. You play the game so much. Ugh. I think I have a decent amount at level 5 now. Like Morrigan just hit 5, my Odin is 5. Um, Bacchus might be? At least it's getting close. Uh, my Sol is very close because I played her so much in the beginning when she was OP as fuck. So like, I don't know. I just do we do Warrior's Axe actually? Actually, is this a Warrior's Axe ankle? It could be. Yeah, maybe I do that. It's kind of weird how Death Cell give you 100 health though. Why does it give you health?
Hey there.
Hello, young one.
You know what? I regret that. I'm not gonna do that actually. Not if I'm doing the hot start here. Cancel that. Now that I have my motor level 10 though, I don't really feel like I want anything else. Like, well, I obviously want them level 10. Like, I wouldn't mind Balone and Odin are those level 10. I don't like them enough to just spam them till I get level 10. I'll just get it naturally. Mordred was the only one I felt passion for, you know? The rest are just whatever. When Ramana comes out, obviously I'm gonna spam the shit out of him to get him to Radiant. I'll do it with Apollo probably as well. Hebo, shit like that. Like my favorite gods. Morrigan is pretty high on the list as well. Uh oh. Oh, that's unfortunate.
That's a bummer.
Unacceptable.
Well, that confirms it's a jungle Ymir.
Key.
And not a solo.
You hold the key.
Well, if we're gonna do that, I'm just gonna save my Sunder.
Your middle tower is under attack.
You hold the key.
An ally has been slain. Okay.
So
An ally has been slain. No problem. Take this jungle buff.
You hold the key.
Your left tower is under attack.
Come on and hit me.
Enemy missing. Be careful left. Enemy missing. Your left tower is under attack. Central block. Calm down. Nom.
Enemies in the right lane.
Okay. Your left tower is central block.
It happened to him. He got the this stupid interact you cannot dash bullshit.
Your left tower is under attack.
For the people that may not understand and haven't played a whole lot of Mordred, what happens if you're on top of this fucking thing and you can interact with it? You can't dash because it prioritizes the interact over the dash. So he just got fucked by that because he was trying to dash away. Granted, I still think I would have killed him. I'm pretty sure I still would have gotten him, but it fucking sucks. It feels so bad dying to something like that.
Hit me.
Your left tower is under attack. Your middle tower is under attack. Okay. An ally has
Such
been
a
slain.
sad state of affairs.
Rough. We're kind of getting smushed at the moment everywhere else. Wait. I've been getting shit on twice in a row now and gotten super carried.
Enemies behind us.
The one game I might actually win lane really hard and get some solo kills, I'm gonna lose. No. Guys, we can't let this happen. Shape up. gonna level my 2 even though he can interrupt it, but I'm doing it mainly for the wave clear. And if he doesn't interrupt it, I mean, it's a way for me to bait out his dash as well. So in that sense, it's also fine. I went for it. Small chance of actually getting a kill, but that's fine. Damn, dude. Pots are so OP. Who needs healers when you have fucking health potions? That bug is still there. You can just dash in place sometimes. Alright, good shit, guys.
Okay.
We're coming back.
Be careful.
Enemy missing. Right.
Goodbye, old friend. Help!
An ally has been
Such a
slain.
sad state of affairs.
Should be able to get the kill for it at least, right? Right.
Okay.
An enemy has been slain.
Alright, fuck it, I'm back. Let's get these two. I actually do want to get Bellona at least to level 5, just because her Onyx is so cool.
Your right
Her Radiant is as well, but there's no way I'm playing Bellona that much. Let me make it, I want the XP for the big one. Alright. Made it.
Ultimate is ready. Seeing you.
Help!
On my way.
Excuse me? Might have gotten him. Yeah.
slain an enemy.
Ultimate is ready.
Interesting pathing from him. I did not expect him to go back in any way, because if he ever went back, he would probably die anyway, but it was a good ult from him. It was worth a shot. If I didn't have Sandra, he would have obviously gotten out, so.
Your left tower is under
Enemy, be careful.
Be seeing retreat.
Old friend.
Come on and hit me.
Dude, Loki's... What is... Damn it! Don't do that, man! Why are you running around taking my blue buff?
Complete.
Hit me.
You don't have to do that.
State of affairs.
I was gonna go get it.
On my way.
Sad state of affairs.
Ultimate is ready.
Give me that little XP.
Enemy missing. Right.
Ultimate is ready.
Attack!
Got a very significant XP lead here. stick around though? You gonna stick around, bud? Yeah, I don't think he knows these capabilities. I'm definitely being a little too over-aggressive. If Ymir showed up at any point, or the jungler, or support or whatever, if anyone showed up, I would have been dead. Without getting a kill.
Come on and hit me.
Just getting slightly bored, I suppose. It's gonna be easier to rotate now that I got the tower, though. Oh, it's attack speed. Could have invaded as well.
Goodbye, old friend.
Let me grab something.
Goodbye, old friend.
Something interesting. Against their team comp, actually, this isn't that bad. I can do a Fatals. It will work.
Goodbye.
At least I have some attack speed with Berserkers now. It's the most important thing. Trying to block it.
Be seeing ya.
Ah. Try to listen for the sound.
An enemy has been slain.
Nice job.
Such a sad state of affairs.
Left leg, please.
Sorry.
Your left tower is under attack. Completed.
That completed. Come on and hit me. That was
Attack the Gold
awesome.
Fury!
Okay.
On my way.
Come on and hit me!
The enemy team has destroyed the Gold Fury.
Didn't need to sunder, but I don't take any chances. And it's not like I need it. So.
On my way.
You hold the key.
Right tower is under attack.
Sad state of affairs.
Well,
Slain.
Thanks. Going up.
I guess we should have just fallen back. Damn. Why was this so coordinated from them? How were there 4 people there? That's crazy. That sucks. It's gonna bring my lane back to being even with Mordred, probably. Look on the bright side, at least they can't do fire. I'm getting more wards.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Also, I don't know what protection I should get in terms of... I need Spirit Orb eventually. I probably need Purification Talisman. Actually, I definitely need Purification Talisman. I'm getting that shit as fast as I can, actually. Ymir, Mordred,
Be careful left.
and Ares.
Enemy missing.
Enemies in the left jungle.
That's unfortunate.
Enemies in middle lane.
Okay.
Enemies in left lane, friends.
Behind you.
Come on and hit me.
Okay.
Enemies in left lane. Attack the fire giant.
Enemy ultimate down.
For a second, I thought Jameer stole it. He did have Sunder, so that's why I also ulted him, to get him the fuck out of this.
Right on. Your middle tower is under attack.
You hold the key.
Take this jungle.
Let's see. Don't have my ult, but he's not that tanky actually, not yet.
Enemy spotted.
Careful, left. Enemies in left lane.
Yes. Be careful, middle.
Overpower and manipulate.
I'm taking the tower. Ow! Tank! Dude, just go in, kill them. I don't know, Bacchus is so scared. Go in, dude. Why am I always the one at the front with no HP? Go in, man. Like, Dutch as well. Dude, where's the team? There's no Phoenix. Go help him.
Power and manipulate. Curse you.
At least we did get the Phoenix, but that feels really sloppy. I'm also not tanky to Sol at all. It's what I kind of just forgot at the time. Fire Giant isn't really going to be enough. That only 40 protections is... I mean, it would be like having a single item. Of which I did not have just yet.
On my way. Follow me.
Are they still behind us? Oh. Blink, man. I'm just fucking dead. I got baited by the Hakase ult. Fuck me, man.
An ally has been slain.
That sucks. It's just not going too well. We're throwing. At least there's nothing for them to get. But I need to go back to farming. I'm not really ahead anymore. Both the carries are like 1 or 2 levels higher than me now.
Your middle tower is under attack.
I was so fed.
Group up. Okay.
Yeah.
Hit me.
Yeah, no more fighting for a little while. I guess until Fire Giant spawns.
Lord the fire giant.
Yeah.
On my way.
I will
Group up.
ward.
On my way.
Thanks. On my way.
Damn you, mystical male. You're not getting away, buddy. Alright, let's just get this Phoenix down again.
On my way. Attack fire giant.
Hit me.
That's a bit better. Like when I can actually go in a bit more controlled, I can sit on one of the ADCs and keep my absorption, my blocks exploding.
Need healing.
Okay.
Be right back. I'm returning to base.
Okay. Be careful.
Be right back.
Group up. Attack left lane.
Is there any magic protection? I guess just Shoguns. Guess I'll do Shoguns. I'm not definitely liking the Fatales. I wanted to try it again, but I mean, obviously with Fire Giant you get enough power to make it work, but I feel like without having fire, you just don't do enough damage per basic to make it work. I could maybe wiggle in another like power item in here.
Your team has destroyed a left
Gank.
enemy tower.
Attack. Attack.
On
Get
my
attack.
way.
Damn it! I thought someone was with me. If Sol dies, we just win it right there. I guess they were killing, what, areas in the back? I don't know. Probably not worth it, I feel like. I should have just looked behind me though. Oh well. I was zoning. It's fine. Decent Bologna game, I guess. A bit weird around the mid game when we just kind of inted and didn't group. Alright, I should have time for one last game, assuming it's not going to be like 3 dodges in a row again. Yeah, shielding and CDA against 3 magicals. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it worked out great. And like, Sol and or Neith never really had any chance of hitting me just because of the block. Like, I think when you get to this stage and you're actually able to sit on an ADC that doesn't get peeling, I think the Bologna works out pretty well. I was inting a bit because I was getting bored, yeah. Yeah, the thing is, Bologna is super easy to peel off. Like, it's kind of the Mordred situation, right? Where they're really easy to peel off, but if you're just letting them do what they do, you're gonna struggle. They're pretty good at killing backliners alone. And yeah. Ares was always, I guess, on our backliners for some reason. He was always trying to get like a big ult off instead of just peeling. I think I would have gotten smacked if I had Ares on me, because I couldn't use my dash then. And that's the whole point about, I think, Bologna right now. It's the only way she really works, is getting a good, like, block battle against an ADC. Ares was basically spamming you rock. Nice. Classic. The fuck is this? Mordred Thanatos? Okay. Mordred Thanatos. Is that... I don't even know what I want to play against that, to be honest. I'll do Chuck. I've been feeling a bit of Chuck today. Ed? No! Ed, why? I'm guessing Ed has waited for so long he didn't know the Q popped. That's my guess. It's fine, Ed. Don't worry about it. It's just funny. Like, I'm not the one getting hurt here, man. It's you for getting now deserter and being unable to Q, right? It's all right. Don't worry about it. I mean, I'm a little sad, but that's just because they picked something funny, and I actually decided finally to go Chuck. Definitely feel like I've hit this stage of Smite 2 right now where I'm getting a little bored with the gods I have available to me. So I'm fucking around a bit more than I need to, I think. That's gonna be Dutch. 1000%. Well, well, well. Huh. If we pick the Neath for mid here, I might yoink the Morrigan again. I need to redeem my Morrigan with how bad it was in my first game today. Yeah. Yeah. Alright then. I was gonna go Morrigan if we didn't... Oh, new skins now. I was gonna go Morrigan if our ADC wasn't gonna go Saul. Because otherwise I actually did feel like playing the Chuck. Oof. Odin. Yeah. Targets to turn into in this game is not super fun. Like Fenrir is obviously great, but he's gonna be support. So depending on what he builds, he's not gonna be good for me to turn into. Otherwise, I'll just have to turn to Loki.
We are the Morrigan.
Let's see.
We are the Morrigan.
This one's cool. I've used this one long. Okay. I do think this one is the best. The fact that I don't know, the black and the orange glowing eyes. I don't know. I think the color palette on the Onyx skin is super cool on Morgan. I like it. Opal one is cool too though, but I think Onyx takes it. Oh, it's Cleano too. Ugh. Did I do an oopsie? Did I oopsie myself again? Maybe I did. I'm gonna do this. Actually. Actually.
Enemy spotted!
Okay.
Be careful!
Minions have spawned.
Big sticky. I haven't tried proxying in Morgan though. Might be decent. Cleano.
Your middle tower is under attack. Retreat.
Your future is bleak.
I feel like it's harder to auto cancel in Smite 2 than it is in Smite 1.
Completed.
The characters really want to just play out their animation before you do anything.
Completed. That was
Alright, at least I didn't miss any creeps. Overall, I still think that's worth it. Because I got my blue without having to sacrifice anything for it.
feels so sexy.
We gaze ahead in time.
Middle. Be careful, right.
An ally has been slain.
Cannot comprehend us. Enemies in left lane.
That's pretty much why I went Combat Blink as well. It's not going to get me out that often, but when I use it, hopefully it will get me out more than anything else. Because I don't think Aegis or Beats would have saved me there.
Okay. Retreat.
Hush. Savor the silence.
Enemies in the right jungle.
Missing right.
Okay. Okay.
You cannot comprehend us. Wait! We gaze ahead in time. Thanks! Enemy missing! Your future is
Ready. Attack. Left lane. Attack.
We gaze ahead in time. Do as we say.
Slain an enemy.
Defend!
Alright, that's nice. Ooh, that was close. My god. I did not hear him or see him in any way, shape, or form. Already a better Morgan game than my last.
Be careful in the jungle. Enemy missing
Your
middle.
right tower is under attack.
Enemy missing you cannot comprehend us.
An ally has been slain.
Your future
That was kinky.
Enemy
Enemy
ultimate
missing
down.
Okay.
enemy missing right. Fools follow the rain.
Your right tower is under attack.
On my way.
Guess we didn't want to go on him. Never mind. Shouldn't have blinked. I was dead no matter what there. I did not realize Loki was gonna be behind us as well. I saw his 2 over the wall, but I wasn't sure where he was, like inside blue or...
That was kinky.
Your right tower under attack.
Yeah, our support gotta do something here, man. Their Athena just went over and TP'd. This is kind of silly. I mean, nothing is really happening overall. It seems people are just getting smacked.
An enemy has been slain.
We definitely gotta take advantage of them early, because Loki is just not as good early as someone like Chuck. At least I think so. Chuck's kind of weak early, I would say too. He kind of needs both his 1 and 2 maxed out to be super good. Yeah, matchmaking is ass. Well, I mean, to be more specific, I guess, it's the low player count. The matchmaking might be alright. Just not enough players to make it look good.
Enemy missing left.
Retreat middle lane.
Only fools follow the rain. Only fools follow the rain.
Okay.
Your future is bleak.
I tried. Didn't want to just give it up for free.
Enemies incoming middle.
Okay.
Dude, the defender just...
Under attack. An enemy has been slain.
Did he just bring him all the way... Oh, like away from his enemy? Or his allies? Is that what I just saw?
Towers under attack.
Enemy missing middle.
Dude, what? What? My stealth got instantly popped, man. What the fuck was that? I'm so pissed about that. The stealth bug happened at the worst possible time.
Your left tower.
Ultimate is down.
Man. I need to stop playing Morrigan, because she's still way too glitched to be fun. I do suspect I might have been dead anyway. But with them tower diving like that, I feel like I shouldn't have died. If I could just run around behind the creeps.
Fools follow the rain.
Oh, it might have been red buff too. No, never mind. I'm stupid. That's new was red buff.
Your future is bleak.
Hmm,
Ultimate is ready.
that's just annoying, I guess.
Your future looks bleak.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Your future looks bleak.
Group up.
Enemy spotted.
Yeah, I mean, look at what's happening on the right side of the map. Like, jungle and support are just not it right now, man.
We gave ahead of time.
And I can't. I couldn't buy it a second time.
On my way. Yes. All defend left lane.
I don't know what Fenrir is doing at all.
Cancelled. Your future looks bleak. Keep it low key. Keep it low key. Only fools follow the rain. We gaze ahead in time. Enemies in right lane.
Is Odin over there?
Enemies in right lane.
Seems so, yeah. He must have TP'd.
All attack left lane. Thanks. Your future looks bleak.
Dude, they're also behind our mid tower. What's happening? I think this is the worst team I've probably had in the Elite queue so far.
Ultimate is down.
I probably need to choose Loki at this point. A double blink.
Ultimate is down.
You cannot comprehend us.
Yeah, I don't really know what to do to win this game. Fenrir, it's just, I don't know. Not playing around us at the moment. So hopefully they get something in right at the moment. That'd be nice.
Enemy missing left.
That would be nice.
An ally has been slain.
Also,
An enemy has been slain.
good job by Neith. If we can get Jingwei in the game, I think we're actually in a pretty good spot. And Jingwei did get the kill on her there, so that's nice.
Yes. Enemy missing left. We gaze ahead in time.
Your middle tower is under attack.
A damn stun. Right now I just keep having... I mean, getting the Odin ring is fine and all, but right now my ult isn't at low cooldown enough, I think, to make it worth it.
Missing right. Be careful.
And I can't even check, because the fucking bug down here... Fix it, Hyris.
Your right tower.
I can't check anything. This game is so glitched.
Enemies in right lane. Enemies have returned to base.
Behind us.
Has been slain.
Behind us.
I don't have my ult, so this isn't really going to be a particularly good rotation here, but... Fenrir just jumped in and died before I even ulted. That's bad. That's super silly. Good save by Chuck. The slow ass spears, man, they're so funny. It's so stupid. No, he should be out as well. Maybe. Yeah. Like, what the fuck do I build on this god now? I'll do Sword Reaver. I still think Loki's the best for me to turn into. Like, maybe late game I can do Chuck.
Only fools follow their
Enemies at the Gold Fury.
We gaze ahead in time.
The enemy team has destroyed the Gold Fury.
Yeah, I'm not getting any of these fucking kills.
An ally has been slain.
Noah was still around. I went for the new one. When Athena walked out, I don't know. Felt like I had to just go on her, not to mention the Odin ring, I guess. This is just not going in my way right now. Maybe Odin might be... I don't know, I could change to Odin as well. Odin ring would be kind of big. But then I know I won't necessarily be able to kill someone with it. That's my only worry.
Ultimate is ready. I'll miss you, darling.
An ally has been slain.
Noah could be decent to turn into in a fight. Not necessarily for damage though.
Your right tower is under attack. Your right tower has been destroyed. An enemy.
Enemy missing right. Be careful.
Farewell, my children.
Dude, if someone stayed with me there, that would have been so good. The double stun.
Only fools follow their aim.
Was a good jump. I can respect it. Did not expect him to walk out of the jungle as I was about to go in there.
An ally has been slain.
I'm a little afraid that this might end up being an Odin diff in late game team fights though.
An ally has been
Only
slain.
fools follow their aim.
Middle tower is under attack.
It's a trap.
We gaze ahead in time. Your future looks bleak. Only fools fall to rain.
Okay, dude.
Okay.
I don't know why I went for that.
We need wards.
We're definitely more worse than the map.
That was kinky.
That's not why I died though, but our ward so far has been terrible. I'm gonna see if I can ward a bit. Oh no. Nickel, what's been happening? I don't know what's been happening, but 1-8 on Jingwei is not a good look.
No.
Enemies have
Enemy
returned to
missing.
base.
That was kinky.
Right lane.
You're so sexy. Ultimate is ready.
Might have been a premature ult. If Odin still has a ring, I'm not sure he does. You gotta get out, man. Why are you here? Nickel, get the fuck out. Don't fight the Odin with no ult.
Ward the fire giant.
An ally has been slain.
Dude.
Only
An ally has been slain.
You're welcome.
Your right tower is under attack. Enemy team has
Man. And they still lost in right. And no one went to defend fire either.
your future looks bleak.
This is the least elite game I've ever been in. Legitimately. I'm taking this mid tower. I'm not defending the right fucking right anyway.
I'll miss you, darling.
Oh, Maya Rifi!
Dude, I can't do anything. I wanted to ult it to Odin, but I keep getting fucking interrupted. Alright, get him, Chuck. He's not getting him. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. That was a gigantic difference in skill levels in this game, unfortunately. I believe in this, though. Getting some kills. I don't think that... Can they end? I don't know, they might want to just smork it. No, Neith died. They can end. Now they can end again, with Neith dying. Solo diff, maybe? No, I don't think it was a solo diff. I think it was a gigantic support diff, if I had to say something specific. I think a jungle diff, not as much, but still there, and then support diff. You can definitely still make the argument Odin is way more useful than Morrigan coming out of solo. That's just the nature of Odin. But we were even for the most part in this one, until team fighting. That was elite, yeah, dude. Are you sure? I actually don't have time for another one. I'm queuing that one last. I'm trying. Let's see. I'll give it 2 minutes. If the queue doesn't pop in 2 minutes, I don't think I'm. Yeah, I gotta go. But yeah, that was not an elite queue, I think. I couldn't do anything, man. And we had such good fights sometimes too. But like, what the fuck? Athena was just everywhere controlling the map, and Fenrir was something. Yeah, I don't know what happened to left. Yeah, I don't know either. Jingwei was... Yeah, dude, I was literally on my way to fire that whole time. And they were fighting, what, 2v3 or 4 or some shit like that, and they still lost? What the fuck happened? Well, this is not the last game. I guess my history is glitched out. Fen was busy taking back camps all game. Yeah, Fenrir was doing nothing this game, unfortunately. It's kind of the impression I got as well, just looking at what was happening comparatively to the Athena. Athena wasn't solo doing shit, so I couldn't really do much. Not like I was gonna push up an Odin either way, but I think There's also the fact that Loki tried to gank me a few times. That was also a problem. Like, I couldn't really do much in my lane, I felt like. We got that first kill on Odin, that was really good. But after that, I felt like every time I tried to fight Odin, it was just kind of... It was too late. There was always someone on their way, or... Yeah, it was just a bit awkward. Alright, well, either way, it looks like I won't be getting into another game. I won't have time. Even doing another game here was debatable. You miss Q, yeah, I expected, yeah. I don't have time, so I canceled my queue, then I regretted canceling the queue, but I don't actually have time. I need to go. I essentially have like an hour, but then I'm going to be super stressed on time, and I don't want to end up getting stressed on time. I need to take it slow, make some food, walk the dog, all that stuff, before I actually need to leave. So I will just do that. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'm going to send you guys over to someone. Let's see. Who do we have? Are you streaming Dutch? I guess you're not streaming yet. Seagull is on. I'll throw you over to Seagull. So yeah.